So I came to Boston last year for the season 2013-2014 for the Boston Ballet season. I auditioned when I was still in London working for English National Ballet. I auditioned for the Boston Ballet. They were auditioning to find new dancer and in London. So I took the audition and I got a contract. Mikko gave me a contract to work with them.
What are some of the things that you find specific to the Boston Ballet that are different from Germany or training in Marseille or being part of the English Ballet?
First of all, well, the Boston Ballet is in the United States, and for the United States Ballet is actually quite new compared Europe. It's not new as it started yesterday, but it's new compared the tradition in Europe. So you have a very fresh look of what classical ballet is, and it's very refreshing coming from a very traditional background in Europe in ballet. And people have, I don't know, people are very welcoming and much more open to how you could interpret certain movements, and I don't know, I found it very interesting. And as an artist, it makes the panel of my movement and the way to interpret a movement much bigger, much wider. It completes my collection. It's very interesting. I think it's beautiful to have a dream and work non-stop to reach that goal, and then eventually, if it happens, then it's magic. But behind that, there is a lot of struggle. There is a lot of sacrifice. The sacrifice is also for the people around you that has to let you go very early, because I don't know, in my case, and I don't think I'm talking only for myself, but in most of the case, little girl or little boy too, they leave home very young. And it's a career that you start very early. You have to be very mature. You know, in the weekend you don't go to birthday parties. You go to your training, and after class you don't. I mean, after school, you don't go hang out with your friends. You just go to the ballet studio and work even more. But you don't feel it like work really. You just feel it like it's part of you and it's normal. And all the fun part, the kind of the childhood, all of that is a little bit eaten by this passion. But then the reward of becoming an artist and being able to express through movement, to express your emotions, some things that sometimes you can't really explain with words, just the movement and I don't know, a movement of shoulder without words sometimes, just the reward of being able to do that. I mean, there is no price for it. And then all the sacrifice and all the pain you've been through, really worth it.
We see it as a physical sport because it is so physically involved. But can you talk a little bit about the emotional side of being able to express yourself through dance?
Well, it's actually related because sometimes you get, not sometimes, like when you're on stage, like you're so into the part you're dancing, that pain doesn't come in the landscape. Like I don't know, I just don't feel any pain. It's like a state of, it's literally a state, I think it's a state of grace, like if that exists, you know. It's just a moment where you're so happy that you're just above, you're literally high on emotion, high on being able to give so much and receive as well. I don't know, it's a state where, that's why it's related, because if you really concentrate in whatever you have to dance, then pain become inexistent, and that's why I feel it the next day when I have pain, or if something happened, I pulled a muscle, or I mean, it didn't happen yet, but I mean, if something happened, I would probably feel it after, but during the show, no, it's not. It's, again, I think it's when I was dancing Romeo and Juliet, because I so loved this ballet that I literally didn't want it to stop. Like I literally was ecstatic to start dancing it, and during the ballet I was like, oh, please don't end it too fast. Like, And yeah, you're going through so much with this part, because I think we've all been like this little girl who wanted, like, being desperately in love. I don't know, that happened to me, so I take it really personal. But yeah, maybe it was quite a unique performance. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was the last show I've danced with the partner I had in Germany, the Romeo I had. His name is Flavio Salamanca. He's still principal there where I was dancing in Germany. It was one of the performances I will remember all my life, really. I don't know if it's the city or if it's the US or if it's the city of Boston, but I feel really energized and motivated, and here everybody's working, everybody's trying their best, you know. So I kind of felt like pulled from above, you know, from the top. I wanted also to try and do my best, because this is what people do here. They try and do their best.
Is there a role that you're really wanting to play in your career? Is there?
There is a very funny thing about it. Is I had a list of things that I really wanted to dance, you know, and I had, first of all, only one ballet, and then I danced this ballet, and I was like, oh, it would be great to dance this then. Like, so I started with Giselle, which is a very, it's a very, very romantic ballet. Really, it's beautiful. You never stop growing in this ballet. So I've danced it, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, and I kept dancing in it every time it was different, and it's not a legend. Like, you literally dance it every time different. And so once I've been given this part, I was like, okay, it's great. So if I dance that, maybe I could dance Romeo and Juliet. That would really be a great thing. And then the ballet comes up in the repertoire, so I was like, oh, that's great. So if I've done that, maybe, okay, the last one would be Swan Lake. Really, I swear I will have no more requests. But and then Swan Lake comes into it, and then like, okay, so I'm pretty happy.
We often ask people in our interviews if there's a public opinion that they would like to change. Is there something that you're personally passionate about that could be outside of dance, or is there an opinion about ballet? Is there some public opinion that you would like to influence with your voice right now?
There's little points, yes, I would love to. And with ballet, I wish that sometimes people really look beyond the borders of what a school could be. Like, we talk about Russian school, French school, Balanchine school, English school, but at the end, we are not classical dancers. We are movers, we are dancers. Nowadays, we should be able to dance anything. Classical to modern to contemporary, all of that. We are movers. We are able to move, you know, in different styles sometimes, like more or like better or worse. That, of course, we have our strength, but the school shouldn't be a barrier, and people shouldn't stop just because, oh yeah, but this person is Russian school, so probably she won't do that, or this person is French school, yeah, well, maybe the legs, but the arms. No, I think we are all artists and movers, and we should not stop at whatever school we're coming from. At the end, we're all on stage, and you know, it's a question of what we pass on to the public, you know. It's not just the school, or this is very, it just makes everything so small and reduce what ballet is.
Is there someone in your industry that we should know about as the person or the group or the?
Well, the people in charge of changing mind and all that, it's first of all, it's very difficult, but I think the people in charge of that are choreographers. That's why it's so important to commission new choreographers, because they are just not making like movement and like with very athletic movement. Some of them have a very special way. It's like they put different glasses. They have a different perspective of what ballet is or what a story could be. So that's why it's very important to keep commissioning new choreographers and new work, because among all of them, some are better than others, and one might just open not a window but a gate, you know, like Balanchine did, you know. He was such, like, his school was Russian based, but then with his soul, he made like a whole different concept, you know, kind of, you know. So Yeah, that's why we should keep commissioning those things, because maybe at some point we might find a unique object, you know, a unique way of seeing things.
Is there a young choreographer that you've worked with recently that you think is very exciting?
I didn't work with him, but I think his work is very exciting. It's Jeffrey Serio. He's principal of the Boston Ballet. And I'm not talking about him because he's principal of the Boston Ballet. I'm talking about him because I think he has a very unique way of doing choreography, because it comes from him. It's his genetic. It's his way, his code of movement. That's why he's unique. It's not like, okay, neoclassical, a bit of balance, yeah, kick the leg here and there. No, it has his language. It has a language of choreography. That's why he's unique. You know, some choreographers are good with movement. Some choreographers are good to put a story together, you know. It's hard to make a story ballet, you know. The choreographer I worked for when I've danced Anna Karenina, he was extremely young. He was, I think, I don't want to make a mistake, but I mean, he was under 25. Terence Kohler. He's an Australian. He's Australian, and he was the resident choreographer for the Münchner Staatsoper in Munich. So he is extremely gifted, and so his movements were good, but then to put this story together and how he imagined the scenery and all of that, you know, it comes from him too. So I guess you have different kind of choreographers, you know. So you have Terence Kohler, Jeffrey Serio, and there is also one guy in Germany that I think he's quite particular, and his name is Stefan Delattre. He has a company, I think, in Mainz, and I think he's someone we should look up because he's special. It's more a question of spirit, like his mind, you know, and you can feel that in his choreography. So it gives you like a weird feeling. I don't know, I think a choreography is good when it gives you something, when it creates something in you that you sometimes can't really understand, like can't really explain. It puts yourself in question, you know. This is what art should do, you know, not just ballet, but the painting. When you go to the museum and you see, like, you can't explain why this painting just makes something inside you and you don't find the words. Maybe this is when ballet comes in to interpret a painting sometimes. You know?